Hey guys, so we're going to continue talking about my most favorite theorem, and that is Pythagorean theorem. However, today we're going to be doing the same stuff we've done last week, except we're going to now have 3D objects, okay? Don't let that scare you, because when I show you one, you're going to be like, oh, this is so easy. So just be patient. This sheet of paper, if you're here A day and B day, you already have it. Okay, if you do not have it, you have two options. You can email me and I'll put a copy in the office for you, or you can just copy down the work as I work it out, and then refer back to this video if you want to see what the picture looks like. Okay, so you don't have to have the sheet of paper, but if you would want one, just email me and I will make sure it's in the office for you. Okay. So let's look at number 1. Okay. The height of the pyramid OV is 24.4. Okay, and we're going to have to labor what this is saying. So anytime you see OV with a line, that means the segment. That means the line. Okay, so I'm going to come down here and I'm going to find the line OV. Okay, this is O, that's V. So this line right here is 24.4. Okay. The length of OE, so this time we're going to look at OE, is 40 inches. What is the length of EV? Okay, so they want to know what this length is right here. Okay. So what kind of triangle is this? If we just look at the part they want us to look at. It's a right triangle, okay? And we know that because of this little box. So we have two of the sides, but they want us to find the hypotenuse. So what theorem do you think we're going to use? Pythagorean! Okay, and with this, what I would do to kind of help you see it is I would always redraw just that triangle, because all of this extra stuff you don't really need. So I'm just going to redraw this triangle. Okay, and I'm going to leave all that extra stuff out. Just threw my pencil. Okay. And then this is a right angle. So now, this is looking like the ones you did last week. And you're just going to solve it the same way. Okay? So I'm first going to find my lengths. Okay, the first thing I need to do is find my hypotenuse. So I'm going to start out this right triangle, draw a line. Okay, my hypotenuse is always going to be C. We do not know what C is, okay, because that's going to be the length we're trying to find. And then A and B, it doesn't matter which one I choose. Okay, and then I'm going to plug it into my formula. A squared plus B squared equals C squared. Plug in my values. So 24.4 for A, 40 for B, and then C is going to be C squared. And I am going to post a video on how to use Desmos, okay, to find what this is. Because a lot of you are not going to have scientific calculators, and that is perfectly fine. Desmos is free to all. Okay, so look at my 2-minute video after this to see how you can use Desmos to find the answer to this. Okay, it will help you. Don't try to do this in your head. Okay, so 24.4 squared is 595.36. Remember, this is squared, so it's 24.4 times 24.4. Okay, a lot of mistakes that I see students make is they do 24.4 times 2. That is not how you do this, okay? Anytime you see an exponent, that means that's how many factors you have. Excuse me. Of 24.4. So make sure you always times it by itself. 40 squared is going to give you 1600. and you're left with c squared, okay? You're going to add these two together and you get 2,195.36 equals c squared. Then you're going to take the square root of both sides and you get c to equal 46.9. Okay? So that length right here is 46.9. Okay? So let's go and look at this one. Okay? They want us to find the slant height of the cone with a height of 13 centimeters. Okay? So your height is how high it's going to be. Okay? And they tell us that is 13. And then the radius of 17 centimeters. So you remember your radius is half of your diameter. Okay? So it's going to be this part of the circle right here. And they labeled it nicely for you too. Okay, and it said that is 17. Okay, and they want us to find the slant. Anytime you try to find the slant, you're finding that slant. Okay, so you're finding where it kind of goes like that. Okay, and that is what they want us to find. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to redraw it so it's easier for us to see. Okay. So now we have to see what we're solving for. And this is a right triangle. And we're trying to find the missing length. So we're going to use Pythagorean theorem. Okay. So A, B, C. The first thing we need to do is identify my hypotenuse. So remember, your hypotenuse is the side directly opposite of the right triangle. Okay. We don't have a value for that. So that's just going to be a question mark. A is 13. B is 17. And we use Pythagorean theorem. Plug in my values. Don't forget that square. Okay, so you're going to square these. 13 squared is going to give you 169. 17 squared is going to give you 289. Equals c squared. You're going to add these two together and you get 458 equals c squared, and now you're going to take the square root of both sides, so you have c equals 21.4. Okay, and that is going to be my answer. So these may look intimidating at first, but when you break it down and you pull it outside of that 3D object, it is just like the ones you did last week. Okay, so I want you to try doing these two on your own, okay? You may want to pause the video, work these out, and then come back for the solution. Okay, just pay really close attention because you're not always solving for the hypotenuse with these problems. Sometimes you're going to be solving for the leg, okay? And that's your little hint for 7 and 8. So pause it and then come back. Okay. Welcome back. Okay, let's look at number 7. The measure of side C is 90 inches. So this side right here is 90. Okay, and the measure of side A is 60. What is the length of side B? Okay. So I'm going to come over here and I'm going to just redraw it the best I can. And this is a right triangle. Okay, so this is a right triangle. I'm trying to find the missing side. So I'm going to use Pythagorean theorem. The first thing I need to do is identify my C, which is directly across from my right angle, and that is 90. Okay, then my A is 60, and then we do not know my B. Okay, I'm going to plug those values into Pythagorean theorem. I'm going to plug 60 in for A. We don't know what B is. And C is 90. square, and then I'm going to subtract. So 60 squared is going to give me 3,600. 90 squared is going to give me 8,100. Then I'm always going to subtract 3,600 from both sides. And I'm going to get 4,500. Take the square root. B is going to give me 67. Okay, so that missing length is 67. Let's look at this one. So this time they already give us values and they want us to find how high it is. Okay, so I'm going to redraw this. Exactly like it says. Okay, so we have a right triangle, missing length. I'm going to use Pythagorean theorem. First, I need to identify my hypotenuse, so I'm going to come here, draw my line. So C is always going to be 13. Now, 5 is going to be A, and H is going to be B. Use Pythagorean theorem and plug in the numbers. Five squared is 25. 13 squared is 169 minus 25. I get B squared equals 144. Then take the square root. B is going to give me 12. So it is, the height of this is going to be 12 units. Okay, so that is how you will do Pythagorean theorem. Okay, so in a little bit, you're going to do practice problems. It's just 4 practice problems on this topic. On page 387, numbers 14 through 17. If you have your book, if you don't have your book, I will post a picture of that page on Canvas so you'll have that in the assignment page. Okay? So again, you're going to do it the exact same way we did up here. Okay? I think these are easier, okay, in my opinion. But just work through those. It's only 4. Okay, now we're going to kind of shift gears. Okay, you can also use the Pythagorean theorem to find distances in a coordinate plane. Okay. So now we're going to talk about finding a distance in the coordinate plane. And it's fun to me, to be honest with you. Okay, so finding a distance in a coordinate plane. Okay. So, for example, you might have a problem that says find the distance between -2, 5 and 4, -3. Okay? So we have steps. Step 1, you're going to plot the points. Step 2, draw a right triangle using those points. And then step 3, you're going to always find the hypotenuse because the hypotenuse represents the distance. So I'm going to make my coordinate plane. Okay, and I'm going to first plot my points. So I have -2, so it's going to be 1, 2, and then I'm going to go up 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, and that is -2, 5. Then I'm going to do my next one, which is 4, so I'm going to go to the right 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, and then down 3. 1, 2, 3. And then I'm going to make a right triangle, okay, using these 2 points. So I'm going to go over, and then I'm going to go down, and then I'm going to connect. Oh, I'm sorry guys, this is not pretty. Okay, so don't worry about this, just look at this. Okay, so now I have a right triangle. Okay, so when we are finding distance, we're always trying to find this side right here. Okay, we're always finding our hypotenuse. So now to find how high this is and how long, we just count the blocks. This is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay, so that's 8. 8 whole blocks cover that side. So now you're going to find the length. So you're going to count the blocks. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, so now you have your legs and you're trying to find your hypotenuse. Okay, so now if you redraw it, you have 8, 6, and you're trying to find that side right there. So you're going to first plot the points, create a right triangle, count how many blocks the height and the length is, okay, and then rewrite your triangle, and you're going to use Pythagorean theorem. Okay. So A is 8, B is 6, your C is going to be X, okay, or question mark. Doesn't matter. So I'm going to plug in my values. So 8 squared is 64, 6 squared is 36, equals C squared. 64 plus 36 is going to be 100. Then you're going to take the square root of both sides, so C is going to give you 10. So the distance between the points is 10 units, because we don't know what they're measuring by. We don't know if it's centimeters, inches, we just don't know. Okay? So again, with these kind of problems, you're going to plot your points, okay, count how many blocks, rewrite your triangle, and then you're going to do it. Okay? So again, plot the points, create your right triangle, rewrite your triangle, and plug into this equation. And the way you get 8 and 6 is by counting the blocks. Okay? So now I want you to try doing this next one on your own. So I want you to find the distance between 3, 6, and 7, 9. Okay, so pause the video and then come back for the solution. Okay, welcome back. Step 1 is to first plot the points. So I have 3, 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Then I have 7, 9. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Then I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. This is 7, 9. Okay. You're going to connect and draw a right triangle. And now I'm going to find my length and my height. Again, you're always trying to find your hypotenuse when you're finding the distance. Okay, your hypotenuse represents the distance. So I have 1, 2, 3, 4 on this side, 1, 2, 3 on this side. So I'm going to draw my triangle to the side. Is something we know. And we're going to use Pythagorean theorem. Okay. So A, B, C. My C we don't know. A is going to be 3, B is going to be 4. A squared plus B squared equals C squared. Plug in my values. 3 squared is 9. 4 squared is 16. Add them, you get 25 equals C squared. Take the square root, C equals 5. So the distance is 5. Okay, and that's my answer. Okay, you're gonna do 3 practice problems involving this. Okay, so just go to the assignment page, and that is where you're going to do this assignment for me today. So you only have a total of 7 problems. Okay, it's not much at all, but work on this and let me know if you have any questions, and I hope y'all have a good day.